Hello beauties and welcome back to my channel and to this video that a bunch of you, including myself, never thought was gonna happen, and that is that I am filming finally with the Melt Amor Eternal launch. I bought this on the pre-release quite some time ago. I think it was the 8th. I think it was the 8th that this was released on the pre-release. I am in a different time zone than Melt, so it could have been the 9th, it could have been the 7th, I actually don't remember. I bought the two palettes, I bought this and another palette, and I'll have that up tomorrow. I also bought the highlighter. I am wearing the highlighter today. I will talk about this a bit more in the video. I bought this lipstick. This is golden. This was on sale. I also bought one of the liquid liners. You will see that in this video as well, the gel liners. And I bought a pen, and I'll have that in a look tomorrow so that you can see it. Those were the things I bought, and it was expensive. It was more than $200, and I bought priority shipping. We'll say, took 2 weeks to reach me. Did not feel very prioritized. I also did not, and this is like, I know that some people might think that this is an annoying story and you don't want to hear about it. I'll leave time here where you can skip so we just talk about the palette and not my shopping experience. Because I feel like as a YouTuber, buying my own stuff, if I don't have the best customer service experience, I do want to tell you about it because I do feel like it's part of the reviewing process. And I won't really be reviewing the palettes, although the palette and the palette tomorrow, I'll just be letting you know like my first impressions and my thoughts while using them. But what I can review is my buying experience. The site worked perfectly. I bought the things I wanted, I got a confirmation email really fast, and I paid $25 for priority shipping. Priority shipping, when you buy from some places like Juvia's Place or Colourpop, I usually buy from there with priority shipping so that I can get it fast. Because as being a YouTuber, I buy more makeup than I would buy if I wasn't on YouTube, because when I buy it, I can put it on YouTube and I can get some of the money back in ad revenue. Sometimes not all of it, sometimes all of it, most of the time just some of it, but it is one of the perks of doing all this work and buying stuff and reviewing it and filming and editing, is that I can get some of the money back that I spent into production, because this is like buying these palettes is part of the production of this video. And the only reason I bought them on pre-sale from Melt, because I paid $50 in tax and fees, because I know they're going to be on Beauty Bay. And I could have bought them from Beauty Bay and not had to pay anything extra in taxes and fees. And I don't mind paying taxes and fees if it's the only way I can get them, but I could have gotten them on Beauty Bay. The only reason I bought them from Melt is that I was like, I'm gonna get them early. I'm gonna buy priority shipping. Usually priority shipping, even from US, means that I will get them fast. I will get them usually within a week. If it's Colourpop or Juvia's Place, sometimes it only takes 2-3 days. Really good, and I was kind of expecting that I was gonna get the same here, but it took them several days just to even create the label, and then one more day to ship it. And I wasn't that impressed. I totally get that when you have a lot of, like when you have a big launch, because the pre-launch was probably really big, like I get it. You get a lot of orders, and I totally get that it takes time to get through all of them. But the thing that annoyed me wasn't even, like, I don't expect the brands to do priority shipping first. I don't expect that. It's nice when they do, some companies do, but I don't expect it. But what I do expect is for you to do the orders in the way that you got them. That's the least I can expect. You doing the orders in the order that you got them. But there were people ordering hours after me that received their orders before you even packed mine. And that shows that my order wasn't in any way, shape, or form prioritized. You didn't even look at my order. You just shipped a bunch of other things, and I'm guessing that the reason why you didn't even look at my order is because it was international. But you could have at least packed my order. Because I felt like I was like, what's going on? I saw my friends receive their orders, and you hadn't even packed mine? And even my friend in Sweden that didn't have prioritized shipping got her order packed before you packed my order, and she ordered several hours after me. That shows that something is up. And I did mail Melt after like 2 days, and I was like, I made an order with you the first hour that you opened the pre-sale, but you haven't even packed my order, and some of my friends that didn't order express shipping or priority shipping, they already received their orders and you didn't even pack mine. Like, is there something up with my order? Because that was the concern then. Was something up with my order? Did I do something wrong? Do I need to fix something? And it took them more than 24 hours to answer. Again, I have no problem with that because I realized that you have a lot of people probably writing you. And when you answered back to me, I just before that, I got a message saying, this is the mail you've been waiting for, your order has been shipped. But when I looked at the tracking, it hadn't been shipped, it had only been a label created. That is not the same thing as shipped. And then I got an answer back from customer service just after that mail saying, we have so many mails and so many orders, we've been working 24 hours. I get that. Trust me, I get that. I'm not asking for special treatment, I'm just asking for the same treatment as others. And he said, because this was a he, we got to your order quickly. No, you didn't. And I answered back, because I asked two questions. I asked, is there something wrong with my order? Because my friends that ordered after me has already received their orders, and I bought priority shipping and mine hasn't even been packed. And he didn't address any of that. He just, we got to your order quickly. And I answered back to him saying, it actually makes me a bit sad to realize that you didn't even read my mail because you didn't address any of the things I said, and you didn't reach my order quickly, and you haven't still shipped my order because the label has just been created. And then he answered me back, actually reading my message this time, saying, we are so sorry, and they did give me the money back for the priority shipping, because I guess then they realized that, oops, we sold her something that we didn't deliver. And that is the thing, if I hadn't written back to them then, I wouldn't have gotten my money back. So I'm thinking that maybe there are other international like consumers out there that also bought priority shipping that actually didn't really get priority shipping, that still haven't gotten their money back. And I don't want to have to be the person to mail customer service twice. If they just read my mail the first time, maybe I would got my money back first. I don't, it just left a bit of a sour taste in my mouth. And then a week passed, and I wrote again asking like, do you know what happened to my order? Because it was like 1.5 weeks in now. I ordered priority shipping. I did get my money back. I'm very thankful for that. But do you know what's going on? And he then wrote me saying, I don't know if it was still a he. It could have been someone else. But I did get a message back saying that they shipped all the international orders on the same day. So if you ship them all on the same day, and it was like a couple plus days after the launch, maybe you shouldn't even have sold priority shipping, because they all went out on the same day. Me and my friend in Sweden, we got their orders on the same day. She did not pay for priority shipping and she still got it on the same day as me. I'm just saying, and the part with shipping taking long to me, that isn't Melt's fault. That is postal service, but it also is part of Melt to like look into what kind of services they are buying from different companies. And this service, the priority shipping, that service obviously isn't really working for them, and maybe they should give some extra information on the site, or maybe they shouldn't be charging $25 for priority shipping if they're actually not delivering priority shipping. With this all being said, I am so sorry about this, but I feel like this is part of reviewing the whole experience, and I want to let you know. Me personally, I will not be buying anything on pre-sale from Melt anymore, because like I said, I did pay $50 in taxes. There's nothing wrong with that, but I could have bought it from Beauty Bay, and I still didn't receive it that much early. Like, it took 2 weeks to get to me. I could just have waited for Beauty Bay. That's just how I feel. I only bought it from Melt to be like early, but you know, this is the curse of my channel. I'm never early with anything. So yeah, in the future, I think I'm just gonna Melt is not gonna be one of the sites that I am buying from Instead, I'm just gonna buy it from Beauty Bay. Maybe this was a one-time thing, I don't know. I love Melt as a brand. I've been Melt from the absolute beginning. I remember their first launch when they released the 2 stacks. I was up online waiting for Lovesick to release. In the middle of the night, I bought it with international shipping, with taxes and everything, and I was super excited. So I've been with Melt from their absolute first release. Love Melt, and I'm probably burning so many bridges right now, because if there's ever a brand that I'd love to be on a PR list, except like Natasha Denona, it's definitely Melt. So yeah. Business wise, maybe this isn't the smartest thing to put out there, but I will not let my thoughts on the customer service or the shipping, of course, I won't let that reflect on what I think about the palettes. Now let's get into what I actually think about the palette. I'm so sorry about that long, but I did leave a timestamp. And if you listen to all of that, even though I left a timestamp, that's on you, sis. This is the Muerte palette. I did buy both of them. I'll have the Vida palette up tomorrow. I did 2 looks, and you'll see that in a bit. This is look number 2, a blue smoky eye using all 3 of these shades. And I did do another look that you saw in the new makeup releases yesterday, and I used all 3 of these and all 4 of these, and that's gonna be look number 1. So I have used all of the shades in this palette, and I wanted to do 3 looks, but as you heard from the story before, time was running short, so you're here with 2 looks. I'm sorry I robbed you. Melt and the postal service robbed you of the 3rd look. I'm sorry. I like this palette, but I will say, and you will notice that throughout the video, some things I say, this is a very hyper matte formula, and it's not extremely easy to blend on the eyes. I will give you the tip, if you have my skin tone or lighter, I would say use this palette with a transition shade, because these are extremely pigmented and extremely nice to blend into each other, but none of these are light enough to be a starter up shade for me, which left me with somewhat hard time trying to sheer out and blend out the color that I started with without making it look patchy. So none of the blending work in any of the looks today, or any of the looks tomorrow, I'm guessing as well, is gonna be a perfect blend, because I try to use only this palette. And if I am to use this palette, well, when I use this palette again, I will use it together with the transition shade, because I do feel like I need something that's lighter than this to start out with, because these are too matte and too pigmented to be sheared out on their own. I need something more. That's just my personal preference, and I feel like any of the faults that you see in the looks that's coming up, because it's not 100% perfect blend, it is due to me being stubborn and only using this palette, even though I would have benefited so much from using a transition shade. It could also be like, I'm not a blending pro, I'm not an expert, I'm doing the best I can. I am like a glorified hobby makeup aficionado, but I really like it so far, but I will use this palette in conjunction with other things. I am happy though that this is the thing, I am happy though that they didn't include any lighter shades like that, because I prefer shades like this, and I already have lighter shades like that. It only made it harder for me when I'm trying to do 2 looks only with this palette. Is that making sense? Like, I made it harder for myself. It's my own fault. If you are a medium to darker skin tone, this won't be a problem for you at all, probably, because these are all pretty deep shades, except this one, the Lagrimas. I used it as a lid shade in my first look. It could probably be a transition shade and mix either Duello or Noche Eterna into that one. The shimmers are really nice. These 2 are very lightly pressed. You don't dig into them. You're gonna get some kick up in the pan. The Angelica feels a bit more firmer pressed. I sprayed all of mine on my lid, getting them on because that's what I like. In my inner corners right now, I am using one of the shades from the Blue Moon because I like a monochromatic look. You could definitely use this one instead. Do like that they included an inner corner highlight in this one, even though I personally don't use a shade like that myself as an inner corner highlight. Love the color range of this. I'll try and put some swatches up on the screen now over me so you can see what they look like. I really like this palette. I'm not sad I bought it. I'm gonna have to try it out a bit more before I can let you know if I think the quality is 100%. Will say extremely pigmented, beautiful mattes, but not the easiest of easiest that I had to work with. And it could be due to me not wanting to be like using a lighter shade. I did bring out something here because I wanted to show you. These are my neutrals by makeup geek. And I just wanted to show you this because I feel like we are saying like this this like reds, the dark reds are so unique, but I have two shades here. This is Bitten and this is Americano, and they are very similar to the dark reds. How is this going? They are very similar to the dark reds in the Melt palette. The only difference is that in this palette they are surrounded by bright red, which makes them pull a bit more red, but they are pretty much this color scheme. The Bitten and the Americano, they are very similar to the two darker reds in the Melt palette. So they are pretty unique, but they're definitely not one of a kind. I already own shades like this, and I know that some people were like, oh my god, I'm so drawn to the reds, I really want to get reds like that. They are somewhat similar to Bitten and Americano. Also the Noche Eterna, Noche Eterna? I feel like that shade, when I got it on my eyes, like the deepness and also still brightness of that shade did remind me a bit of one of the blues in the Natasha Denona Metropolis palette. So I'm not saying that, like, I feel like the color scheme is the unique. I probably have all of these shades in my collection already in different palettes or singles, but I don't have them in a beautiful palette like this, and the packaging is absolutely stunning. That was everything I wanted to say. Let's get into the looks. I've talked so much, but I did leave timestamps. If you didn't look for the timestamps, I don't know what to tell you. This is look number 2. Look number 1 was a cut crease. I didn't do any soft looks with this palette because I feel like this is a very dark and sultry palette, and I wanted my looks to reflect that. And also this is my makeup style, so what can I do? Nobody wants to see me do everyday makeup anyways. When I do that, I get like 0 views, so I'm just gonna do the kind of makeup that I prefer. I hope you like the looks. I hope you like my little mini rant. It's not really a rant, it's just me discussing my experiences and how it felt and how it all went down. I'm gonna do a more proper review coming up. I just need to try them a bit more in different techniques and stuff, but I hope you enjoyed the looks. They're coming right now. I hope I am in focus. I don't know, do I want to be this close? Do I want you to see this much of my imperfections? I'm fine. I'm gonna do the first look with the Muerte palette. I have it right here, it's still in the packaging. I'm also gonna use 2 of the other things I ordered from Melt, which is the Illumination. Was that correct? Which is the highlighter, and I also bought one of the cream liners. The packaging is beautiful. Let us start with the highlighter. Oh, I wanted to compare this to something, so let me bring that one out as well. This is the packaging. It's the same packaging as the other highlighter, so the packaging of the actual product is like nothing special, but look at this. Oh my god, it's so pretty. But the first thing I thought when I opened this is like, wow, this is the exact same color as my favorite highlighter, which is Everybody's Got a Weakness, the Super Shock highlighter by Colourpop. Let me get that and I will show you. Because they are both that, like, I don't know if you can see, maybe here. They are both that gold, like going to a pink. I don't know if you can see it here, but trust me when I say it. Maybe this one has a slightly lighter base, but it's going to be interesting to see how they are on the skin, because I see the exact same shift. I think this one is going to be more shimmery than the one, because this one is a bit creamy. So let me put this on and we'll see. I haven't even touched this. I'm using the highlighter brush by Kaleidos. I do feel like this, yeah, it's basically the same color. I do feel like, do feel like you might need a stiffer brush with this one, because it does feel like one of those baked jelly formulas that is slightly not harder pressed, but they're not like, doesn't come off that easy. So I think a more dense brush is definitely to be preferred with this formula. It is definitely the same kind of effect on the skin as the Hades highlighter by Colourpop. This might be more of a blush topper if you are of fair skin tone. On me, this is more like the blush highlighter hybrid I'm always talking about. If you want to get this kind of color, but maybe even more blinding, I will say that the Colourpop Everybody's Got a Weakness, said that 1,000 times, from the Villains collection is the same. It is the same color. It is the same color, it literally is, and if you're using a dense brush with that one as well, you will get this color on the skin, just maybe even slightly more blinding than this one. But it is beautiful. I mean, I love this kind of color, so on me, This is stunning. I would say I'm more of a light skin tone than a fair, so for me it works all up on my cheekbones as well, but it might not if you are super fair, at least not to pack it on like I did now. But it is beautiful. It is a peachy gold shifting to a pink. I did really enjoy that. I thought that was pretty, but I already own it, so there we go. Dupe alert. This one, this is what it looks like, the Hades one. Really nice highlighters. Probably going to be mentioned as my favorite highlighter of 2019. Heads up. And I haven't touched this yet, so this is going to be the first time me using this. Where am I? Here I am in focus. I am going to do something with the turquoise and the red because that was the look that I had in mind when I first saw this palette. And I always like my first look to be like the first look I had in mind when I first saw the palette. I just need to reorganize here a bit. Move my candy. Candy is nice. I am going to use all the 3 reds here, and I'm going to see if I can do some kind of a cut crease. Ooh, this Corazon, is that how you say it? I hope so. It's very pigmented. I picked up so much on the brush with this one. I think I'm gonna start just, wow, map out where I want this to be. I want it to go up here. And I want it to go down here. When you're doing cut creases like this, because I'm gonna cheat a bit with the concealer. I used to do my cut creases when I started doing them without concealer, and that is totally like fine as well. But I will say it's easier if you are cheating a bit with concealer. It does make it a lot easier. Then you only have to worry about the upper part. This is the only part that needs to be blended. The rest you can fix. Oh, I also already put my lipstick on. I am wearing the Color is Shine in Blow Your Glow on my lips. And I also used the lip liner that I love from MAC, but it's out. I don't even know when I last, like, look at this. Like, I can't get anything more out. It's out. I actually bought a new one of this because this is being discontinued. Okay, I am back again, and I'm gonna take a smaller brush. This one is a Morphe 507. I'm gonna make sure to clean it. I'm gonna use the Sangre one. Sangre? I think that's blood, right? I'm pretty sure. So I'm gonna use that one. The Corazon had a bit of a kick up, just so you know. And I am just gonna map out the line with this and just deepen up this. And if you get a bit down here, it's okay, because we're just gonna clean that up with some concealer, so we're fine. Just deepening this up a bit. That is a stunning color. I don't even think we need to use the even darker one. I'm taking a bit more of the red, the Corazon, and I'm just blending the edge. And I'm gently dragging it out here at the end because I do want this wing to continue like out. So I'm just dragging a bit without any additional product, just dragging it out so that it can go out a bit. Maybe I will try a bit of that Velorio, just the deepest one, and just see how that is. Just run that a bit over this line. Yeah, that's really deep. And then I'll just take a bit more of the Corazon, just to redden it up. If you have a deep color and you just want it to be a pull a bit, just blend over the deep color with the initial color, like the red. And the deep color will pull a bit more red because you're blending it over. Ooh, my battery is dying. I'm gonna just make this blend perfect. I'm gonna fix this eye and I'll come back. Ooh, I'll do the concealer as well. I'm just gonna map out with the concealer and I'll come back because my battery is dying. And we'll do the lid color. Okay, I am back and I put the concealer on. I use the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop because this one is so light. So I thought that this would be the best since I am putting a light shadow on top. And I thought that this would disrupt the shadow the least. So I'm gonna use this one that's called Lagrimas. Is it Lagrimas? I'm so sorry if I'm butchering your language. I just personally like to try and pronounce things. So I am putting that shade on my flat brush and I'm just gonna pack it on. That is a cool shade. Just packing this on wherever I put this concealer. And then I'm gonna fix the line a bit again with some of the darker red shades. I always end up doing that in the end when I do cut creases like this. And at the end here, I'm just gonna see if I can just drag it out. Just try and fade out the wing. I'm gonna fix the inner part in just a little bit. So something like that, I think. I think that's pretty cool. Okay, so this is where we are right now. Let me see if I can find that super detailed brush I had, or maybe I'll use this one. Let me just clean this. This is the small brush by Refer. I'm just gonna clean it, and I think I'm gonna use this with the... I'm gonna mix the two darkest reds, and I'm just gonna go over the line with this one. And then I'm gonna follow the line down here, because I never know how far down to take it before I cut my crease. And I'm not being too thorough with the blend here, I'm just mapping out the line. Okay, so I think I'm gonna leave it like this right now. I'm gonna fix my lower lash line now. I'm gonna start with the Corazon because I want this to be, I'm gonna use the same brush. I want this to be red at the bottom of it, and then I'm gonna use the two other, so I'm gonna take this a bit farther down, and I'm gonna use the two other turquoise shades to really frame the look. But I'm just starting with blending this red first. Now I'm taking one of these little stubby brushes. This is an E20E shader, and I am going to use the Duello. Is it Duello? I hope so. I'm going to take this on the outer half, and then I'm taking, wrong turn this, Angelito. I'm taking that on the inner half of the lower lash line. Just packing this on close and leaving some of the red underneath to peek through. And I'm also going to drag it out just a little bit to follow the wing here on the upper half, just to like tie it all together. Oh, you thought I was doing like a work appropriate look? Yeah, that's not what we're doing here. So far this is an all matte look, but now I'm gonna use a shimmer. I'm using the Angelito. I am gonna spray this a bit because I just want this to be super opaque from the get-go, and I also, that's the wrong one, and I also don't want any fallout because I can't deal with that right now. And I'm just gonna tuck that in here. Just blending carefully over the turquoise here, making sure to leave a little of the red. Okay, it's time to use the liner. I bought one of the gel liners in the green shade. This one is called Fortuna, which is luck, right? Like Lady Fortuna. And this is a gel liner. It's a dark green, so I'm gonna line my upper lid with this one, and let's see how that works out. Where's my liner brush? Ah, here it is. It's like really, really thin, and also it has a bit of a bend to it. It's actually really, really nice. Ooh, this is creamy. This was very like, do you see? So creamy. Okay, that's nice. And I'm gonna continue the line here and make it where we met the dark shade. And I'm gonna do the line like that. I'm just mapping out a bit how I want it to be before I go in like full on. Okay, I think I'm gonna leave it like that. I think that's really cool. Let me do the same on the other eye. I'm also gonna use, where did I put it? Here. I'm gonna use Colourpop Zulu in my waterline. I'm gonna do a bit of mascara, and I'll come back and show you what it looks like before I put the falsies on. Because for me, a look like this that is this dramatic, I need some falsies. That's just me. Okay, so this is where I'm at right now. And as you can see, it's very dramatic. Oh, I didn't put the pen in my waterline like I said I should. Let me do it now. I don't really understand these Colourpop liners. Some of them are so good, and then some of them you're like, we need to talk. This one is definitely a we need to talk, so I'm just gonna go over this one with a bit of the light turquoise shadow, the Lagrimas. So I'm just taking a bit on a very detailed brush, and I'm just gonna pat this over like where I put the pencil, so we can actually get this color in my waterline as well. Okay, there we are. And I'm gonna take the same one, and I'm gonna use a bit of the Kalaka or Kalasa. That was super smooth. I just put my brush in there and I almost made a dent. That was so smooth. I'm just gonna put a little bit in the absolute inner corner, just where these meet, to just get a little like something to tie them together and something to make this a bit lighter. You can see I'm using very little, and I'm not spraying it. I'm not trying to make this intense. I'm just meeting them and also getting it all over my face, but just something, as you can see, just something. Okay, let me put the falsies on. I'm just gonna put the regular Iconics on, maybe brush my hair, could be something. And I'm also wearing this absolutely stunning dress together with this, so I'll zoom out and I'll put the lashes on and I'll be right back. Okay, this is the finished look and I am living for this. I'm living for this together with this beautiful dress. It's... Wait. Cannot show you like this. Maybe I can go up like... It is a beautiful dress and it has like somewhat poofy sleeves. So pretty. I got this from ASOS. Remind me to link it down below. I think it's still available. It is a dress. So pretty. So I love this. If there's any faults in this look, there are hairs flying everywhere. If there's any faults in this look, it is on my part because the shadows were beautiful. So far, I have used the other palette ones as well, and you will see that tomorrow, hopefully. And so far, I like this one more because I felt like some of the other shadows were a bit harder to blend. But I'll talk more about that tomorrow. But these are very pigmented though. And when I look up in like very close to this one, I can see that there are parts that could be better blended, like here. I see it that there are parts that are not 100% blended, but like I said, I think that's on my part, and that's probably the reason as to why I had some problems blending the other palette as well. And I talked about that in the video. I filmed one of the... This is confusing, but I think it was like me having a bad blending day, and I think it's just that these are so pigmented that they stick to the primer because they're so pigmented. So I'm gonna try the next look. I'm gonna film that in a bit. I'm gonna try the next look and I'm gonna try and see if I set my primer, if they're slightly easier to blend, because the shadows are beautiful and I love this look. So I'm so excited I got to do this look. That was the first look that I thought about when I saw this palette. Enough talking about this. Hopefully I talked a bit more about this in the beginning. Let's just get into look number 2. Okay, time for look number 2. And I am doing this after the other look. So it's a bit... like I didn't get all of the eyeliner off, so if I'm looking a bit janky, it's because I'm filming this nighttime after the other one and I washed my face and I forgot to put the ring back on, but that's life. I'm gonna use these 3 shades now, because those are the 3 shades that I didn't use before. All the other shades I used in the look I had before. So I'm gonna do a blue smoky eye with a shimmery lid. I love those kinds of looks and I'm super excited. I'm gonna start with the gray in the crease and I'm gonna deepen it up with the Noche Eterna, that's like eternal night, right? Pantheon? I only know what Pantheon is, like the building in Rome. And then it's Katrina. Also don't know what that is. It's a name. It's the name of a hurricane. That's what I know. I did not put the lip on yet because I did actually buy one of the liquid lipsticks on sale. This was only $10 and I bought Golden. You know, the shade that I talked about that I wanted. I did buy that, so let's start with putting that on before we do the... I love these kind of poopy yellowy colors if we're doing eyeshadow. I've never tried their formula before. It's very thin and very liquidy, but I feel like it's opaque. I feel like this is exactly what I've been looking for. A yellowy nude that's even more yellow than most nudes would go, but still not making my teeth too yellow. It's beautiful. I'm so happy I picked this up. I'm so happy I got it on sale. So I'm gonna start with the Pantheon and then I'm moving into the Noche Eterna. And I'm gonna do those in the crease, and I'm also gonna do those on the lower lash line. Maybe just the blue on the lower lash line. So we're starting with that. I'm picking up very little of the gray on this pretty fluffy brush because I wanna start with this in the crease. And if I use a very fluffy brush, I'll be able to not put too much on so it's not too pigmented and blend it at the same time, because this isn't gonna be the only shade in the crease. So for me, it doesn't matter if this shade goes on a bit lighter. Just need this to map out the look and to have something to blend the blue into. I will say this is pretty pigmented, so it did turn pretty pigmented pretty fast. I'm using this fluffy brush without any additional product, and I'm gonna blend the upper part. I'm gonna blend that as much as possible. I did also set my primer with some eyeshadow. I used one of my Makeup Geeks. I used Vanilla Bean, this one here, just because I wanted to see if it's easier to blend with some Vanilla Bean on my lid. I usually don't set my primer. I'm gonna blend a bit of Vanilla Bean in here so we can blend this a bit easier, but I thought I'd try the shadows both on a set base and a non-set base, and I will say that I think that they work pretty good on a set base as well. I will say these eyeshadows are not the easiest to blend out. They're pigmented and they're beautiful, but they are not the easiest to blend out. Or maybe it's my blending skills that are a bit lacking. It's not impossible, and also that I have more, like, you see my lids are moving a bit because I'm not 21. So maybe that's something to take into consideration. I will say I have spent a lot of time blending this, not gonna lie. I don't think that I'm gonna get the blend better than this, but I would definitely suggest getting a transition shade down before, because this blend isn't perfect. Now I'm gonna use the blue. Ooh, that's really nice. I think that this palette just needs some lighter shades for you to use it with. I think that's basically it. I think all of the shadows are really nice. I just feel like maybe if you are of my skin tone, you might need to go in with a lighter shade before. If you have a darker skin tone, it's probably going to be easier for you to use this palette as it is, because some of these shades are going to be good transition shades for you. Maybe this is a good lesson for us with lighter skin tone, that not all palettes are made for us. But it is so far really nice quality. It's just that these haven't been the easiest shadows to blend out, and that usually means that there should have been some kind of transition shade to blend the shadows into going down first. This is stunning. This color is everything. Oh, you saw I put some gray under my eyes as well. I didn't even address that. That was stunning. And this blue blended into the gray perfectly. It's just the gray didn't blend into my, and honestly, I don't have a cool skin tone either, so it is a bit hard for me to blend the gray into my skin tone, and especially it being a bit darker. So I honestly don't know if it's like the shadow's fault. It's me not going in with a transition shade first. But on the other hand, I wanted to use this palette as it is, and this palette doesn't offer a transition shade for my skin tone. So next time I will use one. Let me use some under my eyes as well and blend into the gray. I feel like this is looking a lot better now that I got the blue on top. I don't feel like it's so patchy anymore. So that is a good thing. I love that blue. That blue is, this is everything. So I am gonna take the Katrina now. So I've used those two now, and now I'm gonna use this one, Katrina, which is the very shimmery dark blue. It's a bit crumbly, so I am gonna spray it so I don't get fallout, because I don't need that. Oh my gosh, that is these three shades together like are literally everything. But this one is definitely a bit more loosely pressed in the pan, so be careful so you don't dig your entire brush into it. I don't care if there's a bit of shimmer particles in my crease. I just want these colors to blend together. So I'm just blending over the edge of it. That is stunning. Still have a little bit of fallout, so be careful with that. I am gonna do the same on the other eye, and I'm gonna switch out my memory card because this one is getting full. I'm also gonna use a bit of the Marine Ultra, the chromographic eye pencil by MAC. This has the perfect color for this look, so I'm gonna use that in my waterline, and I'll do some mascara and I'll be back and we can finish this all up. Okay, memory card is changed. I did some mascara and some for my waterline. I'm actually gonna use the Lumi shade from the Blue Moon palette, because I love to have monochromatic looks with my inner corner as well. I mean, you could obviously use the light shade here that is called Kalaka. I hope that's how you say it. But it's more like a warm beige, and I prefer having a blue in my inner corner. If you do not have a blue duochrome like this one, because that's what this is a blue duochrome. If you do not have that, don't worry. I mean, using whatever in your inner corner is just gonna be a nice way to brighten up this look. But this is what the Lumi looks like if you don't get it all over your face like I did. It is literally just a very, maybe I'll put it as low down as there, very pretty blue, and I did spray it just to get it to be more opaque, because I personally feel like these transparent base with a flip. The flip shows a lot more if you spray either the brush or the shadow a bit more. I try to always spray my shadows after I have them on the brush, so I don't dip a moist brush into my pans, because that, with some shadows, that can create pan, and not with all, but since you never know which ones until you accidentally do it, I try to always spray after I put the shadows on the brush. Let me put on some falsies. I actually brought out a pair that I've used outside of YouTube but never on YouTube. This is the Huda Beauty Hoodie Lashes. They are pretty new. I bought them when I was in New York, and I'm gonna put these on because I don't have a wing liner, and something like this that's not really that flared looks really nice when you don't have a wing liner. So let me put those on, and maybe I'll do something about this as well. And then it's gonna be the finished look. Okay, so that is the finished look. I have everything on, including the lashes. This is what the Hoodie Lashes looks on, although maybe you can't see that much because it's so dark behind, but these are really nice lashes. They are not as easy, according to me, to bend and fit your eye shape because they have a see-through band, and sometimes those are a bit more stiff, but I really do like these. I like these a lot more than others of those see-through, like the see-through bands that I've tried before. Like I tried some from Tarte and they were horrible, so I think that these are pretty good. And yeah, that was everything for now. I hope you liked the looks. I hope you liked my thoughts. I hope you liked my customer service experience. Do let me know your thoughts down below. I'll try and come back to these palettes real soon, but I do have a lot of things going on right now. There are a lot of fun releases going on right now, and some of them are heading my way in PR. I will do a more in-depth review as soon as I have one. I just need to play with them a bit more, but hopefully this helped a little bit with deciding whether or not you feel like this is something that you need to pick up when it's releasing this week. I'll have all the details down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you tomorrow for the Vida palette. Bye!